Okay, so for quite a while I've wanted to do a setup when all of this is actually positioned on top of a shelf, and that is what I have been working on. Made extra little pads under the mic stand. I have new stands arriving tomorrow as well. But also positioned a light above. If I switch that off and then switch it back on, I thought that is fun. I like to work and tweak, and so that gives me a little work light. I do apologize. I once again have managed to get substantial amounts of super glue onto my hands, particularly this knuckle, which is very annoying, but it's all good. The mics here, they're actually upside down, which is, it always looks nice. Gives me that freedom underneath and to not accidentally boop them. I'm using an old tripod for the camera. I don't really like it because it's not adjustable, and in all this time of moving bits and bobs around, I've misplaced the joys of the audio just dropping out there. I had to call upon an emergency hard drive for my audio because my nice, expensive 2 terabyte one decided to just never work again. It did, of course, happen mid-recording. It had to be as inconvenient as possible. That is the rule. Now, this lens does need a clean, because it's a little bit sluggish. That's okay. Now, I have my key light very dim, set to 5% to be more correct, or more precise, should I say, because I like to use it as a work light. So, let me see what that looks like turned up, and then we can bring in the backlight. Let me turn this up. 20%. Last time I filmed, I went for 50%. So let's start off with a nice 50%. I like being further away from the curtain as well. Makes it, just looks a little bit nicer. It's not quite as obvious that it is a curtain. It's 50%. I'm seeing zebra stripes on me. Zebra stripes highlights. All zebra stripes. Nothing is blowing out. What about reflections? I think that's good. Okay, so let's just out of curiosity. That's 37. Still got little zebra, and it's gone there. So 30% is too low. That's okay. Go for 50. For a while I was working with 70, but that's a little bit bright. It lightens up that too much? Yeah, I like 50. 50% is nice. Let's get this backlight on. The backlight on now. When I did a very, very quick little test of this beforehand, I did like that quite a lot. I think the curtain creases need to be slightly corrected, but there is some things underneath it, so it's sat on top. Some things which is misaligning it. It's not hanging quite as nicely. I also have a microphone stand back there. I quite like the way the light is ever so slightly in frame, but that might not look quite so good when it's graded. I can't really tell at this moment in time, so let me step back and step on the tiptoes a little bit, so that will be more like when the camera is positioned how I want it. Framing is very nice, even between the shoulders, but a gradient with the backlight. And that light, and let's switch this above light off, which I suppose could be used as a fill. So if I switch it on, and 1, 2, a dim fill. It's doing something, and then up another one. That's quite nice, to be honest. I quite like that. The color of it might be off slightly, but that's okay. It is not supposed to match, and maximum brightness, which is what I had it on before, just there. Okay, I'm going to clean that lens. Just take this. Don't know if I have any spray to but this will help a lot. I will probably need to do a new test for this tomorrow once the new stands arrive, but it's quite nice. It's like a little booth, and I do have space that I could pop up. A little shelf up there. I have modified this so I have a nice big board behind it, so I can pop some notes. I think some brackets, yeah. I have this here, and I'm gonna pop that. That'll give me quite a nice shelf. I think I need to find that other tripod make some little feet for the camera. These are the sort of feet that I've been experimenting with. It's all about different mediums that absorb different frequencies, different vibrations. This one is EVA, so synthetic vinyl. Then we have a solid neoprene, which is synthetic rubber, and then more of a foam neoprene, squishy neoprene, which is always nice to use because the feet will meld in, which is nice for stability, and you've still got something nice and solid. Nice and solid like this. It's not too thick, but it's not too thin. It's very hard to compress down. It's also very good at gripping. Are there any other important... Let me switch this off. Are there any other important features or factors for the XLRs are connected to the unit? The stand underneath the camera tripod stand has been decoupled, separated. Mic positioning is about that, so it's a little bit up and a little bit towards me. With the new stands, I don't know whether I'm going to attach them to the shelf underneath, which is where these ones are currently placed. I could attach them to the adapted shelf I've made at the back, or I could attach them to the shelf above and have them so I can pull them down. I also have a flexible mount for the camera, which I was using and am no longer using, but I could go back to using, and the camera could also be mounted on mine, although sometimes it's a little bit of a nuisance because it's a little bit wobbly. This is so much more stable. So I don't know. Lots of thinking. Let me step back. I probably wouldn't need to go any further back than this unless I was doing something with a light. This light needs some new batteries in it, by the looks of things. Not as bright as it once was. But all of this here does give me a lot of space. So considering doing a half curtain setup, which would be interesting, but that's not yet. That will happen soon, but not yet. What else do I need to test or to see? Bring it into 50 mil, which is much tighter, but both shoulders. I'll step in to a nice in space here, to that mic, back to the center. It feels pretty good, like this. That's at arm's distance, like that. And of course I could always shine some blue onto this side. There. Okay, with the old panel lights, I don't think this is going to convey what I'm trying to convey. It sort of does, but not really. And then we have the two-tone. That could be fun. Could look quite interesting. Could blue that light if I felt like it. Of course, that red light could just be a blue light instead. Get a little purple going. Let's take a look. Let's see what all this looks like.